Welcome to the show. I'm Clyde Sharady, and thank you very much for the interest that you all demonstrate on this show. It's Monday night. We've got our segments on news and humor with Vincent Tshaka, and you'll find out more about this in just a moment, straight after this. Okay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at African Knowledge, on African Knowledge at African Media Australia, and we've got this segment of news and humor on every Monday night. My usual guest is Vincent. Vincent, how are you, Vincent?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? And how's the African media family doing? I hope everyone's doing okay. We are
Yeah, we're all doing
free.
fun. We're a little happier now that we're kind of free, a little
We,
freer than last week.
yeah, 265 days and counting. I came out of my house feeling like Mandela. Uh,
Feeling like Mandela. That's a good
feeling
one.
like feeling like Mandela. I was finally free. Long walk to freedom.
Long walk to freedom. All right.
Yeah,
Freedom is coming tomorrow.
freedom
That's
is
what they.
coming tomorrow.
But I won't bet for tomorrow's freedom because I know Daniel Andrew can change his mind anytime. For some reason, I'm kind of how do I put it? I don't know. It just goes into my mind, and I'm
Yeah,
allergic, and I'm trying to find the word. I can't even find the word. I just feel like
I think
Daniel Andrews will bring it back to prison again.
I think now you're allergic to freedom because you've been locked in for so long. And this is the thing, like they usually even say people who go to prison for very long periods of time, eventually when they come out, they usually do something to go back to prison again because
Yeah.
it's much easier that way. So it was good numbers today, though,
Yeah.
1,400. So hopefully we're on the right track to staying free. We'll see.
Absolutely. That was a very good number compared to 2,000, 2,200 right down to
Exactly. Yeah.
1,400. That's not bad.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
All
So
right, let's get into it. We got a few
yeah,
stories to talk about, and the first one is Alec Baldwin fatally shoots a woman on the scene.
yeah. This was a crazy one. He's I mean, currently he was filming his new movie. It's called Rust, and it's basically about. I think it's about a young person who accidentally shoots somebody else, and then he gets in trouble, and then unfortunately, he's on this set, and everyone was thinking that, he was shooting a movie, but ended up shooting someone else, which is it's tragic to think about it, but it is really, really unfortunate that that happened. And it's happened. It's not even the first time that it's happened. It happened with Bruce Lee's son when he was doing his show back in the day, and it happens to everybody. It happens to people even who are not in movies. I remember I was shooting a movie with my ex-wife back in the day as well, and we had this one scene in the shooting, and we thought we were shooting blanks, but now I have two kids. Yeah, yeah, it was a really
That's
tragic story.
that's a bit of an accident, I suppose, or,
Yeah, it
or
was
maybe not.
just like him. Just like him, it was accidental. The only thing is, I didn't kill anybody. I just shot a few eggs. Yeah, but
Well, and then it happened twice,
and then it happened
so
twice. The first time I thought it was a mistake. Yeah, the director said to do it again, and yeah, now two kids. But yeah,
well, at least there
unfortunate
was
for
no
that.
blood. There was no blood flowing like in this tragic
Yeah,
case, and nobody died. We see that young female actor who passed away as
yeah,
a, as,
it
as a
was
result of the result
She's an
of this, isn't
upcoming
it?
director as well, and it's really sad because she's left. Jokes aside, she's left a young kid of 8 years old. So that's a
Yeah.
kid who's gonna grow up without his mom, and I'm sure it's also sad for Alec himself, being a very prolific actor, and he's done a lot of movies over the years to be involved in such an incident. I'm sure it's not he's not feeling good about himself, but hopefully Hollywood is going to do a little bit more care moving forward, that we don't see kind of these things kind of happening, because it's supposed to be entertainment, not a dangerous job.
Yeah, yeah. And I wonder how they could have. I mean, if they're doing a movie, why would they put real bullets in the gun?
Well, according to the story, which is the story that keeps coming out now, is most of the people who were on the set were freelancers.
Okay.
So the original people who were employed by Hollywood themselves had walked off the job. So a lot of people have been walking out the job, and they had walked off the job because they wanted better pay, and so because they needed to continue with the movie because they had a time frame to do it, and so they brought in freelance people. So we don't know what the investigation is. We don't know if it's one of the freelance people who put a real bullet in there. We don't know if it was accidental, it had been used before for something else. But if you are interested in that story, keep following it up. I'm sure they will come up with a conclusion very soon.
Okay. No worries. We'll follow that up and we'll let you know how that pans out.
Yeah.
And then we have this Western Australian man allegedly set off fake shark warnings with
Uh,
tag removed from Great White.
Australians are crazy. Australians is just like, people think of Australia, and I think there's a section I said one time in this show, like, Australia does not need to worry about people coming into Australia. Australia is dangerous by itself. We've got sharks, we've got stingrays, we've got uh, crazy people like this guy. This is not even a young man. This is a 48-year-old man who not only caught a shark, he also stole the tracking device. Like, I understand trying to catch a dog, a cat, a rabbit, a shark, and removing the tag. And I don't know who's brave enough to rob a shark. And then he used and then he used the tracking device, and he actually set alarms more than 20 times.
Wow.
Uh, uh, it's crazy. The only other Aussie that I know who kind of has been in this shark business was the surfer Mick Fanning, who punched a shark in the nose while he was in a surfing competition, and the shark didn't bite him then. And this is crazy. I don't know. He was caught by police eventually. This
Yes.
person was caught by police. So, and I feel like the police punched him in the nose before they arrested him, just to be sure he doesn't bite them. But I think there are two reasons why Australia should not worry about terrorism ever, ever, ever. One is because we have guys like this, people who are brave enough to rob a shark, and then we've got Frankston. I think those two those two things keeps Australia very safe all the time.
So I think that this sort of thing can happen in Victoria. It's possible it may happen in Frankston because there are brave guys over there.
I don't know. I don't like swimming in the ocean very much because of this of sharks. Now we don't hear a lot of black people being attacked by sharks, but I guess we don't swim in the ocean a lot. But then you hear of stories like this person who uh, traps a shark, steals the tracking device. I don't know what kind of drugs he had taken, but he was from Western Australia, which is the ice capital of Australia at the moment.
Hmm.
So maybe he was high. I'm not sure. He probably saw a shark and he thought it was like, oh, look at this little dolphin. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, when you're on ice, you can't really trust your eyes.
You don't trust your eyes, so I don't know what he saw, but yeah, that big up to that man. That's a true legend of Australia right there.
Well, okay. Australia still has lots of legends.
It's
Uh,
got
and in Lebanon, there's a huge electricity crisis. The country is in the dark. Tell us
Lebanon
about that.
was, yeah, Lebanon was crazy. Lebanon, I thought before Lebanon, because being in the Middle East, I thought it was also an oil country, but they don't export a lot of oil. They actually don't have much oil. Their exports are not in oil. And they've been going through a really tough time. They've got a lot of wars. They had bomb explosions just, I think, in the beginning of the year. There's currently a lot of fighting there. And it's really, really sad for the people of Lebanon. And to top it up, the whole country went dark for about 2 days. Like that was the big news, that the whole country went dark because the electric companies did not have enough fuel to generate oil for the country. Now,
Mm,
I grew up in Kenya, and Kenya, there are areas that do not have electricity, and we suffer from blackouts. But our blackouts are never countrywide. It's usually depending on suburb. One suburb would have power in the morning, another would have it in the evening. So
mhm,
it always changes, and it's also expensive. Like they started a system in Kenya right now where you can buy uh, electricity depending on how much money you want. So if you've got like $15, you can buy electricity for $15, which you could use for a couple of hours if that's all you needed, right?
mm.
And I thought Africa in itself was bad because we don't have the infrastructure proper for electricity, but we have never lost electricity countrywide. Like that is a whole different level of problems in a country. And
Yeah.
then you come to a place like in Western countries, and then they tell you of things like every year you have to turn off your electricity for 1 hour so that you can celebrate half hour. You know, I feel like if anyone from Lebanon came to Australia, they don't need to do Earth Hour for the next 48 years. Those 2 days have covered you. You're done. I don't do Earth Hour myself. I don't. I
Uh,
suffered with enough blackouts in Kenya. I think I've got hundred of hours backed into my system. So my kids and their kids and their kids don't need to do Earth Hour. We're sorted. I did it for you.
that's
So
right.
yeah.
So I think people from Lebanon have already about 10 years of, 30 minutes.
48 years, because it's only 1 hour per year, 1 hour every year. So
Yes,
48 hours is akin to 48 years. They don't need to do that hour at all. Let white people do that. Let white people do that.
it's kind of surprising that the whole country can go without electricity. I mean, I've
I
never
don't
heard
think
of
it's
that
even
before.
safe. I don't think it's even safe,
No, it's not. It's not.
because
And they have Israel, which is just around the corner, and Israel doesn't necessarily like them. And
yeah,
the
yeah,
mayor say, okay, they're in the dark. Maybe this is the time to.
exactly, exactly. It's such an ugly time, but yeah, I've never heard of a whole country losing electricity at one time.
Mm.
That was the first for me. I'm sure there's someone who's going to go on Facebook and tell us it has happened before, but that was the first time hearing about it, and that was really uh, strange.
Yeah, I know. Even in the Congo, where I come from, we have almost the same thing that, like you in Kenya, they call it over there delestage. That is, this part of the neighborhood has electricity.
Yeah,
You have to wait. Yours maybe tomorrow or the day after.
yeah, yeah. It's divided so that everyone can, and you can't even feel bad for people,
Yeah,
because it's like, today it's them, and tomorrow it's going to be you.
that's right.
Tomorrow it's going to be you. Yeah,
And then sometimes where it was for them yesterday, today, the next thing happens, they still have it, and you're not getting it, and they say, "Oh
yeah.
my god!"
That's why we used to go watch TV from the neighbor's window. It's like, if you have
Exactly.
electricity, I'm your visitor.
Oh, that is brilliant. Now, some people are coming up with some idea of what they call paternity leave, leave for pets, rather than.
Look, white people drive me crazy. Okay, and not in a bad way. Like, look, I'm gonna say it safely. Like, I love black people, and I like white people, but sometimes white people take things a little bit too far. Okay, so this is something that is happening in the UK right now, or they're trying to make it a law in the UK. It's a discussion still. It's still in discussion
Yes.
stages. But I fear that if it passes, it's going to be a thing that a lot of other Western countries are going to follow. And
Mm,
this is the issue of pet owners, that they can get paid leave to take care of their pets. So
mm,
basically, if you get a new pet, which, as we have seen during this lockdown in Melbourne, a lot of people actually went and got pets just for company, then
mm,
you could be given up to three weeks paid leave. Um, Now, when I was on dating sites before, I used to be on Tinder and all that, and I never used to match with anyone who had pets, especially black cats. Now,
mm.
you're from Congo.
Yes,
I'm from Kenya, and black cats, we consider them to be a part of witchcraft and bad luck. You know what I
that's
mean?
right. That's
And
right.
I'm just allergic to cats. So anyone I saw with their profile and they had a pet, I'd be like, no, swipe left. You know, I was like, no, I don't want to deal with that. And
Yeah,
it's not even, that's not a bad thing. But I came here and then I started hearing a term that I'd never had before. I had people who had pets calling themselves pet moms and pet dads, and that
yeah,
was disturbing. In some profiles, you'd read profiles of people and they'd say, before I like you, my dog or my cat has to like you. I'm like, I don't want to date your dog or your cat. I want to date you. So, this issue of me, your dog liking me or not liking me is a big deal. It's not a big deal
yeah.
for me. Um,
It-
but that's a thing. And some places, like I'd see people with dogs, and I'm okay with dogs, and I'd match with them. But I came to realize the hard way that when a white person says I love my pet, they actually mean they love their pet, like love their pet. I got dumped because of a dog. You know what I mean?
Whoa,
I got,
really?
yes, because the person loved their dog too much, and
Yes.
I was like, it's just a dog. An animal to us is just an animal. It's not a pet. Like when I see people saying that chickens or goats are their pets, I'm like, that's dinner. Not now. But that is about going to be dinner by anything. And even
Yes,
when you look into the proper definition of the word paternity, it means you're biological. You're the biological parent to someone. And
yes.
I don't know. If my daughter came up to me and said she gave birth to a kitten, I'd be like, we'll have a very difficult conversation. I'll have to ask a lot of questions and probably ask Garfield as well. Garfield's the cat. I'll be like, we need to talk.
How
This
did
here.
that happen?
How did that happen? How did that happen? Like, no way. I don't get this law. I hope it doesn't come into fruition. If you grab a pet because you want to have a pet, yes, you should be responsible for it. You should take care of it. But getting paid leave for 3 weeks just to have a pet, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think
You-
that is actually the way we should be going right now.
I
The
imagine people will be skipping work and say, when I got up, my dog started throwing up, and I
I
thought
would get
I
a pet
needed
as
to.
well if that's the case. I would get a pet as well and maybe I'll get a pet and get my 3 weeks and then, you know, uh, give it back. And then when I want another 3 weeks holiday, get another pet. It's a thing that can be abused.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
well,
saying.
definitely
You
gonna
know what
get
I mean?
abused.
Yeah,
Uh, I'm just worried because when you seek, you can present a certificate, doctor certificate,
yeah,
but which is quite easy to get in most circumstances. But if your pet is sick, need to go to see a vet. They're very expensive. So
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I don't
I
know.
I've always said I've never had a pet. Well, my kids have a pet now, but I've never had a pet myself for a long time. And I feel like when you have a pet, it should be for a useful purpose.
Yeah,
It should not be. It should. We have dogs in Africa. They're for security.
yeah.
Everyone knows. Don't go into that person's house. They've got very fierce dogs. And then when you keep cows and goats and chicken and that's dinner. Here you're getting people like, oh, that's my pet, that's my pet. I'm like, for now. If the if there was a zombie apocalypse right now and there was no food, any of my friends who has an edible pet, I will come and stay with you for a little while.
For now, it is a pet, but who
For
knows where
now
it's
it is
going to
a
turn
pet.
to?
But if push comes to shove,
Sure,
yeah,
that's
I'll
going to
come
be
and
dinner.
I can be a visitor in your house for a few days.
I remember even myself recently when I moved house and in a new property, lots of pigeons everywhere and they're making noise on the roof and
Mm.
stuff. And I'm trying to get rid of them. My wife says, "Leave them, they are pets." I said, "No, this is no pet. Where I come from, I'll start counting. This is for dinner every day, you know."
Imagine how many pigeons have you seen walking around in any African nation ever? None. Even pigeons in Africa know we're not safe on the ground. But you go into the city, you go into any city. You go to Gold Coast, you go to Adelaide, you find pigeons just walking
Everywhere.
around with humans, just
Yeah.
not even scared. Not
They're
even
not
scared.
scared at all. You know, they'll see you walking past. They don't even notice you until you get like 5 centimeters close to them. They
Yeah.
don't really
And
notice. And I'm saying, well,
probably in the pigeon's mind over here is like, oh, look at this black man. Oh, sorry. Okay, cool. That's okay. That's
so I remember when I was a kid, I could count it. This will go well for fufu, and I have 2, 3 pigeons. That goes well for 3 days. You have
oh
nice
yeah.
meat for fufu, man. For
Yeah, I used to
ugali.
tell my kids, we used to go out into the bush and hunt pigeons and all those edible birds, and you feed yourself in the bush, you come home. No one was keeping Anyone who was keeping pigeons, they kept pigeons, they would either sell them to their friends,
Yes.
but they were never free range pigeons. No one was trying to like leave the pigeons to fly everywhere and wherever. They were kept there for a purpose. At times your dad comes home, he's got no money and he wants to eat meat. You know what you've got to do. You
All
know
right.
what you have to do.
We'll see what happens with this paternity suggestion. I have a feeling it will probably go through because people are kind of really, how do I put it, depressed, and they
Yeah, yeah,
they need
yeah,
their pets with all
yeah,
this COVID thing, and it's an unending crisis.
yeah,
One day it's okay, the next day it's trouble
yeah.
again, and they
and
probably
and it's okay. I feel like people who love pets, like I said, they should have pets, but I think this is pushing it a little bit too far. uh if you can get a pet and get 3 weeks leave, and someone can actually have a child and get 3 weeks leave, um I don't know, some people say pets are part and parcel of their family. Well, just don't keep something that I can eat, that's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, that's a very good way of ending it. It's okay for
Yeah,
you to have a pet, but when push comes to shovel, who knows, with all these, crisis coming around,
yeah,
it could be a good way to secure some dinner sometime. But I
yeah.
know there are a lot of people out there who would not want to hear that sound. But that's the
Oh,
way it
you will get a lot of flack for that joke in this program, but
But that's the way it is now. Thank you
yeah.
very much, Vincent, for this wonderful moment commenting the news, and it's been a pleasure as usual. We will see you again next Monday night.
No worries. Thanks a lot, and see you next time. Thanks, Abdi, and talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Those watching, as usual, we encourage you to share this video, to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that notification button so you know when we on air. Next time you can watch our programs, and also like and comment. Abdi Salad, want to say thank you. We saw you making a few comments there. That's appreciated. So for all of you, thank you very much. Until next time, stay blessed and stay safe. Thank you very much.